Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far and welcome to part 2 of my declutter series. So if you missed it, there is a part 1 to this video. Hopefully this one is going to be just a little bit quicker than the last one, but if you're wanting to sort of binge watch this whole series, there is already another part where I get into foundations, concealers, bronzers, setting powders, setting sprays. And today we're going to be doing just one drawer, blushes and highlights, because it's quite a full drawer. It is very much packed in and I do need to streamline it quite substantially. So let's just zoom you in and dive into the drawer. So this is the drawer that we're going to be tackling today. Over at this side we've got all of my highlighters. There is a few liquid highlighters, but it's mostly powders. Then we've got cream and liquid blushes, and then powder blush, and then over here are just a few things that are too big to fit properly into these dividers. Now my problem is that this drawer doesn't come out any further. This is as far as it will go. So the things that are right at the back here, I can't reach without taking everything out. So I want to sort of rejig this a little bit and get my most used products down to the front, just to make it easier. And also I can see just by looking straight away that there's loads of things in here that I want to get rid of. So let's start with the highlighters. So I'm going to talk you through every product and talk you through what I'm keeping and what I'm not keeping, and then I'm going to put everything into a little tub and we'll show you the tub at the end of everything that I'm getting rid of and show you the finished, more organised drawers. So starting with the Studio London You Do You Face Gloss. I tested this out in a video recently. This is just Vaseline, basically. It's just straight up Vaseline and it does not look good on the face. I will use this. I'm going to put this out on my table. This is basically a lip balm, so I will use this up, but it's not a highlight. So I'm counting this as a declutter, but it's just sort of moving places rather than being thrown away. Then next up we have the e.l.f. Baked Highlight in the shade Moonlit Pearls. This is absolutely beautiful. Another one that I tested fairly recently. Obviously it's a baked formula, so it does have more of that smoother finish that you would expect from a baked highlighter, but it's absolutely beautiful. If you have a similar skin tone to me where you're very, very pale, this is a really, really great one, so I'm keeping this. Next up we have the Sleek Mono Highlighter in Solstice Equinox. I have kept this for I don't even know how long, like a year or two, and I don't think I've ever actually used this on my face. It's too dark for me, so I'm going to declutter, but one that will go to a better home. Like, it's just the wrong shade for me. I'm sure it's beautiful. Then this is a new one. I haven't used this yet. This is the Essence The Highlighter in 01 Mesmerizing, and I haven't actually used this before, so it's a fresh new pan. So I'm obviously keeping, but very excited to get into this one. Then I have two shades of the Revolution Bright Light Highlighter. I have Strobe Champagne and Beam Pink. I think I'm going to declutter the Beam Pink one. This was the one that I thought was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Pink Gasm, I think, but it doesn't work on me. I will not use that, so declutter that one. But I do like the Strobe Champagne one. You have to apply it in a particular way. I don't find that actually dabbing this onto my skin and then blending it out works very well. I like doing it with a sponge, tapping my sponge actually onto the top of this and then applying it onto my face from the sponge rather than dabbing the applicator directly onto my skin, if that makes sense. But a really nice one, again, very, very blinding, which I enjoy. Then we have the Revolution Jelly Highlighter in the shade Monumental, and this again is just not a great colour for me. It's really, really nice actually. If you were of a darker, slightly deeper, more tanned skin tone than me, this would be a really, really nice one. It's just too dark and it shows up on my skin, but really smooth, really easy to blend out. Obviously the packaging is really nice and like substantial as well, but just one that doesn't work for my skin tone. Then next up is the Physicians Formula. This is actually the Butter Blush, but I find that this is more of a sort of blush topper highlight shade on me. Not one that I reach for all the time because it does definitely lean more pink, but one that I am absolutely keeping. It does go on really, really nice and smooth. I do like it. It's just not one that I reach for every single day. Then we have the L'Oreal Iconic Glow. I don't know if that's meant to be like iconic, but iconic. I don't know how you're meant to say that, but the shade of this is really strange. Like, it looks like it would be the perfect sort of icy, champagne-y shade for me. Firstly, it doesn't show up all that much. I like something a lot more blinding, but this goes on so pink. I don't even, like, you can see how little I've used it because it still has all of that imprint in it. I don't think it's even going to show up very well on a swatch, but it almost has like a pastel pink sort of pearlescence to it, which isn't what I go for, and L'Oreal is not a brand that I will use anymore, so I'm going to declutter this one. Then we have the Goddess of Love Triple Baked Highlighter in the shade Goddess of Faith. I don't think you can get these on Superdrug anymore. This is from the I Heart Revolution brand, but I have been told that you can get this on Amazon. So definitely one if you are my sort of skin tone. It is really, really pretty. Again, it is that baked highlighter sort of texture. Really, really pretty. I haven't got all of my like full lights set up, so I don't think that that's going to show up as blinding as it can be, but if you want a really soft highlight that just looks like you are glowing from within, like it doesn't look chunky or glittery or anything on the skin, it does just go onto the top of the skin so beautifully, this is fantastic. Then I have two shades of these ones, and you can see just by the packaging alone which one I use most. So this one here is the Revolution Highlighter Reloaded in Dare to Divulge, and this is absolutely beautiful, but it's just too dark for my skin tone. So although this one, which is in the same formula, is my absolute favourite of all time, I am going to declutter this Dare to Divulge one. The colour is just too dark for me. If you've seen any of my videos, then you will know my love affair with this highlight. So this is in the shade Just My Type. If you are very pale like me, but you want a warm glow, this is the one to go for. This is what I wore on my wedding day. It's absolutely beautiful. It never looks chunky. It doesn't have any sort of glitter in it. It just reflects on the skin so beautifully. I mean, you can tell my packaging is like completely battered and bruised. I would run out in a heartbeat and buy this one again if this ever broke or if I lost it. This would be the one that I would rebuy. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the last highlighter is this one at the front. This is another one that I will be keeping. This is the XX Revolution Powder Highlighter in Echo, and this is absolutely beautiful. More chunky, glittery, but still in a really beautiful way. It's still very wearable, but it's that undertone that just works so well if you are incredibly pale like I am, so keeping that one. I will also just mention on the top of my drawers I have those little plastic drawers, and I keep this one in there because it's really broken. I won't open it up, but I will be keeping this one. It's the Maybelline Face Studio Chrome Extreme. I absolutely love this for an inner corner highlight that just pops so brightly. This is a really great one, but I can't keep it in the dividers here because it needs to be kept upright in these, and this one needs to be kept flat because it's all broken. So I am keeping this one, but it's not living in this drawer. And then lastly for highlight is one that was over at this side because it doesn't fit in the dividers. This is the Revolution Skin Kiss highlighter in Ice Kiss. This pan is absolutely huge. I don't think I will ever see the bottom of it, but so beautiful. Again, for a really blinding inner corner highlight. This is a little too chunky for me and a little too icy for me to use on the face, but I do really enjoy this. Sometimes just topping like the very top of the cheeks with a little bit of this, but definitely is an inner corner highlight. So yeah, I won't ever see the bottom of it, but it is one that I will be keeping. So then the next divider over is liquid blush. We've got all of my putty blushes in here, ones that aren't powders. So basically I've separated it into powders and then everything else. So for this section, we obviously have all of my shades of the e.l.f. putty blush. We've got Tahiti, which is more of a deep berry tone, Turks and Caicos, which is more of a orangier toned pink, really beautiful in summer. And then the last one I have here is Bora Bora, which is more of a hot pink. I will absolutely be keeping all three of these. They are my favourite. Then we have the Studio London Flaunt Flawless Blush Cheek and Lip Pigment. This is in the shade Inspire. Another one that I tested recently on my channel. I do have a full video of Studio London, testing Studio London products. This was really pretty, and one that I haven't reached for since that video, but I definitely need to be reaching for this one more at the minute, because this is more of like a winter shade for me. I do prefer something a little bit deeper in winter and something a little bit brighter coming into summer, so I need to be using this now whilst the weather still feels right for this blush for me. Then we have the Collection Gorgeous Glow Stick. This is just in the blush shade. I don't have a ton of product left in this. It's a really beautiful sort of hot, warm pink. If this is your sort of shade, absolutely go out and grab one. These are great. They blend out so easily. Then I have one of the Profusion Blush Hour liquid blushes. This is in the shade Rose. I do want to pick up some more of these because this formula was fantastic. It's got like sponge on the end of it, so you dab that onto your skin, or what I did is I dabbed that onto my brush and then applied it from there. So pretty, so pigmented, so easy to blend out, lasted really well all day. I'm a really big fan. I definitely want to pick up some more colours in this formula. Then I have 3 shades of the Revolution Super Dewy Liquid Blush. Again, I really enjoy this formula. So we have Flushing For You, which is more of a deeper, darker pink. Then we have Blushing in Love, which is like a baby pink. Like, this barely shows up on my skin, but it's really pretty. And then Fake the Flush, which is more of an orangey tone. All 3 of these are absolutely beautiful, and I won't be getting rid of any of them. The only thing is, I do find them quite messy. I don't necessarily reach for these as much as the e.l.f. putty blushes, only because like you have to squeeze a little bit out on the back of your hand, then dip your brush into that to apply it onto your skin so that you don't get like splotches and stuff. But the colours are absolutely beautiful and they do stay really well all day. Then this one, the Flower Beauty Blush Bomb in the shade Bubbly. I have used this, like I can see that it's all messy around the bottom and stuff, so I can see that I've used this before, but I can't remember what I think of it. So I will be keeping this and I will test it out soon and then decide if I want to keep it or not. But for now, I can't tell you what I thought of this. Then we have the Barry M Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint. This is in the shade Summer Rose. I really enjoy this formula. It feels really nice and hydrating on the skin. The only thing is, it is sort of the same thing as the Revolution Super Dewy ones, where you have to squeeze it onto the back of your hand to get the colour out. But other than that, it is a really great formula. Another one that I would definitely be tempted to pick up some more shades of. Then I am going to declutter this one because I've tried to use this a few different ways and I just can't get it to work. This is the Body Collection Liquid Blush in the shade Coral Pink. It just blends out. Like, you would think that that colour would be like right up my street, but that just blends out into absolutely nothing. Like, you have to apply 3 or 4 layers to get any sort of colour payoff, and realistically I could just use something else, so I'm going to get rid of this one. And then this is technically a blush, and I don't think I'm actually going to keep this in here. This is the Colourpop Super Shock blush. That was a tongue twister, in the shade Chiffon. This is so like reflective, and it is almost like a duochrome where it's that like peach in one shade and then like a hot pink in another light. I have been absolutely loving wearing this on my eyes, so I'm going to keep this in a separate place. I'm not going to put it back in here. Technically it is a blush, but I don't use it as a blush. When I first tested this, I did apply it on my face and I absolutely hated it, but on the eyes this is absolutely incredible. And then onto the powders. So we have the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo. This is in the shade Guava. I don't ever use the highlight shade, that is way too dark for me, but this blush is absolutely beautiful, so we'll be keeping. Then we have the Kiko Longwear Hydra Blush. This is in the shade Fairy Pink. Another one that I really love in winter. I definitely need to get more wear out of this before the weather turns too warm for me to feel like this is the sort of shade that I want. So beautiful. Looks so soft on the skin. These Kiko products, you can't get them all the time because they do like limited edition collections and things. So this was a limited edition one. I think it was last Christmas. I will not be getting rid of this. It's absolutely beautiful, and I don't think I would get rid of this even when it was expired or like all used up, because the packaging is just so pretty. I love it. Then I have 3 shades of the Collection Glow blush. I have spoken about these approximately 7 million times on my channel before. So we have the shades Bashful, Cherry and Peach. So that's those 3 there, Bashful, Cherry and Peach. They are so pretty. They look so soft and glowy on the skin. They do have the finest glow in them. They look like they would be like so intensely glowy that it would just be too much. But for somebody like me who likes the glow and likes to add glow in at every single stage, these are absolutely beautiful. One of my favourite, if not my absolute favourite formula. Then I've got this tiny little one, which is from a brand called Ruby. I think I maybe got this in like a glossy box or something, and I haven't subscribed to a glossy box in about 6 years, so this is definitely old. I think I've possibly put my finger in that once and then never touched it again, so I will be decluttering. Next up is the Flower Beauty Flower Pots in the shade Wild Rose. I feel like that doesn't even look like I've used it as much as I have. This is one of my all-time favourites. This is the shade that I wore on my wedding day. It's absolutely beautiful and so soft on the skin as well. It just looks like you've airbrushed the colour across your cheeks. It is completely matte and I absolutely love it. Another one that I won't ever get rid of because it's got sentimental value. Then we have the L'Oreal Life's a Peach blush. This is the blush that I included, I'm fairly certain I included this in my project pan last year, and as you can see, it's still got the imprint in it. I maybe used this 5 or 6 times. I honestly couldn't even tell you, but this colour just doesn't do it for me really, and it's really shimmery as well, but in more of a, it's more shimmery than the Collection Glow blushes. This one is almost a highlight. Like this and the actual highlight are very similar in the level of reflect, and I just cannot get on board with either of these, so they're both going. Next up is the Milani Baked Blush. This is in the shade Berry Amore. I never got onto the Luminoso hype. That just isn't like the sort of colour that I go for. However, this all winter long, all over my face, is absolutely beautiful. It's got the most subtle gold shimmer in it, so it just warms up your complexion whilst adding that flush of pink It's so pretty, and I've had this such a long time and it's barely even, like, there's so much product left. You get so much in these for the price. So yes, this is probably one of the most expensive blushes in my collection. I don't buy high-end products, so this is probably one of the most expensive ones, but this will last me forever. I'm sure of it. Then we have the Beauty Bay Powder Blush in the shade Coral. This in summer, all over the cheeks, swept across the nose, into the like crease of the eye as well. So pretty. I feel like I don't hear people talk about the Beauty Bay base products, but these are fantastic. I'm definitely considering buying more shades of these because they're so nice. They blend out so nicely. They're a really great amount of pigment, and obviously they're so affordable as well. So it's Beauty Bay, so affordable, so easy to get your hands on. All great things. Then next up is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush. This is in the shade Always Rosy. This, on like first impression, is not the sort of colour that I would necessarily go for. I wanted to try the primer infused blush, and this was the only one that they had in stock when I went to place this order. However, it has fast become one of my favourites. Like I say, I change up my blush fairly regularly, like with the seasons. I like to wear this sort of colour in winter, and then something brighter like the Flower Beauty one I like to wear in summer. So you can see the differences there, where the e.l.f. one is just a little bit deeper, a little bit duskier, and then the Flower Beauty one is really bright, hot pink pop of colour. I like to switch out my blushes in that way, so this is one that I will obviously be keeping and be reaching for in like the coming months, but it's not the sort of thing that I will reach for all summer long, so it's definitely a formula that I want to explore a little bit more. And then I have two of the Revolution Blusher Reloaded. So this one here is Pink Lady, and similar to that Flower Beauty one, it's a really hot pink, but this one almost has more warmth to it than the Flower Beauty one. These formulas are absolutely fantastic. The Reloaded formula, so we've got the Highlight Reloaded and this is the Blush Reloaded. Absolutely beautiful. Will 100% be keeping. And then we have Rhubarb and Custard, and again this one is just a little bit warmer, a bit more nude, a bit more neutral, so more of like an everyday, I could wear this any time of year sort of shade. Really enjoy that one too. And I think that these ones are like £4 or something silly like that, like so affordable, but such a great formula. So then next up we have the Powder Blush Palette from e.l.f. This is in the shade Light. So these two down at the bottom I haven't actually dipped into yet. Both of these are shimmery, which doesn't necessarily mean that I won't use them. They're just not the sort of thing that I reach for every day, especially, like, I don't know, I'm sort of in a phase at the minute where I'm not reaching for like the most shimmery blushes. I'm really into matte blushes at the minute, but these two at the top are so pretty. They blend out so easily, and the colours are obviously beautiful, more of that like warmer tone that I like in winter. I do think that these ones at the bottom will come into their own in summer when I'm looking for those more like hot pink shades. Really enjoy that. But another one that doesn't fit in the tubs, so has to go down the side. So I will pop everything that I'm keeping back in, show you how that's all looking, and then I'll show you the tub, and then we're done. So that's how all of that's looking. I can reach everything now. Nothing is like so far back in the tubs that I can't reach them. I can very easily grab whatever I want to. This is looking a lot better. So I've got the three bigger ones here. Powder blushes, creams, liquids, blushes there, and then all of the highlighters here. I definitely feel like I have more highlights than this, but I don't know where they would be. Like, I thought that I was a really big collector of highlights, but that's all we've got there. So then this is everything that I'm getting rid of today. So it's a smaller collection than the other box that I ended up with the other day, which I will show you, but mostly highlights. I did sort of know that it would go like that because the highlights that I had, I knew that so many of them were the wrong colour for me, so I'm very, very happy with that. I'm happy that I can now like get into my drawers a lot better, but this is everything that I'm getting rid of. And I will also say I won't just be throwing this stuff in the bin. Anything that just isn't my shade and has barely been used, I will be giving to a women's shelter. Things that any of my friends want, I will be giving to them, and then things that are just completely past, they're like used by dates and completely expired, and things which I don't think is any of the things that I've gotten rid of today. Everything will be going to like one of the recycling centres that you have in like Superdrug and Boots. I will be taking everything there. Nothing will be hopefully ending up in landfill, but that is everything. Let me add that to the other box that we got the other day. So that's how it's looking now. We're definitely filling up. This is definitely getting quite heavy, but that is all of my highlights and blushes decluttered. Like I say, that's all of the base products done now. I will link that other video at the end so you can see that if you want to, but eyeshadow palettes, eyeliners, etc. will be next. I might actually do like brow products, eyeliners, mascaras and like single eyeshadows. I might do all in one video and then do palettes because palettes are a problem for me. I might even do like nude everyday palettes and then colourful palettes. I think that's how I'm gonna have to do it, and then lips and then perfumes. Like there's so many declutters coming. Subscribe if you want to see those, but until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.